Ms. Dorothy Thomas, from your experience, what are the consequences of teenage pregnancy?
Thank you very much for that question. Consequences of teenage pregnancy. We all know that there are so many consequences of teenage pregnancy, but I'll mention just a few. Early marriage is one of the major consequences of teenage pregnancy, in the sense that when a child gets pregnant, she'll be forced by her parents or her guardian to get married to the person who impregnated her. Another alarming consequences of teenage pregnancy is drug abuse. When a child gets pregnant, she'll find all possible means to abort the baby or terminate the pregnancy. She'll go into taking hard drugs, herbs, which is not good for her health. Another alarming consequences of teenage pregnancy is school dropout. We all know that in some higher institutions, it is the female children who sponsor themselves, and when they get pregnant, in the process of them going to school, things will become difficult for them because they'll be thinking of how they will combine their educational activities and the pregnancy they are carrying. So things will become difficult for them. Some of the students, they will not even want to go for lectures again because they'll be considering how they will face the crowd and how their peer group will be mocking at them. Another one is death. Strictness of parents can make a child to commit suicide or she might consider doing abortion, in the sense that when this child think of how she will face her parents and how she will even explain, things will become complicated for her. So they might consider doing abortion, which might actually take their life and the life of the baby. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Dorothy Thomas. Ms. Memakwa, can you please give us the reasons why teens may seek abortion? They don't have this mentality of keeping the fetus. All they want to do is to abort the baby. Can you give us reasons why they do so?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Of course, we all know we have numerous reasons why a teen might seek for abortion, but I'm just going to mention a few. We have the educational reason, the economic reason, the stigmatization, and the social condemnation. The educational reason, my colleague just said that, like in the secondary school level, when a child is not 18, won't be allowed into the school with pregnancy, unlike the tertiary institution where you can go to school while being pregnant and also give birth and all of that. Okay, I made mention of stigmatization. I mean, that stigma of being pregnant when you're not officially married is a big stigma. Like, you'll be restricted, like the person she's going to restrict herself from going to the places she normally go to, like how will she face them, the shame, the reproach. I mean, all of that is a very big stigma. So the economic reason, I mean, how is she going to fend for the child, even from childbearing, after giving birth to the child, the hospital bill, the clothing, the feeding, and everything. So I think that economic reason is a very big reason for her to seek for abortion. So the last one is social condemnation. The condemnation from the family, from the church, from the environment, the society. What will people say about me? What will they think of me? I mean, the shame alone. So I think these few reasons are good reasons why a teen might seek for abortion. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Memakwa. All right, Ms. Wana Ito, I want to know how abortion affects the teens. At least I know it may affect them socially, mentally, physically, and in terms of their health.
Okay. In open door counseling, I've had a patient who came to me, a young lady, just a teenager, about 20 to 23 years, came to me complaining that she had abortion about 3 months ago, and then since then, at times she feels like committing suicide. She feels like killing herself. When this trauma comes in, like whenever she thinks or whenever it comes to her mind that she had an abortion, the trauma makes her want to commit suicide. Like, oh, what have I done? How did I do this? How did I get myself to this place? Oh, like the trauma at times, she just feel like, oh, what's my worth on earth? Let me just go. Like, it makes them want to commit suicide at times. And then another thing is that it affects them psychologically, in the sense that the teenager might not be able to think well, she might not be able to do things straight, like mingle with her group. That is, it affects her psychosocial life. She might not be able to think well, like mingle with her peer groups, do things the way she's supposed to do them, and all of that. Like it affects her thinking, let's put it that way. And then it also causes health complications, in the sense that when teenagers these days, like abortion, especially in this part of the world, is not really legal. So they do it the illegal way, and which is it's very unsafe. Especially, it affects their health, in the sense that the people who conduct this abortion for them are not really trained personnel. They are not professionals in this. So when they do this, they don't have the cure for illness. They don't have cure for illness that comes after the abortion. When there's lots of bleeding, like blood loss, they don't have the equipment. They don't have what they're supposed to use to block or stop it. They just do it the local way, maybe herbs and I don't know. And then it could also cause pelvic pains, like pains in the female genital area. It could cause pains, it could cause damage there. It could also cause cramping, and then at times abortion could lead to womb loss.
Thank you very much for that, Miss Wana Eto.